everybody. Welcome to an episode of Sakura Popcast where your K-drama musings come to life. I'm Jackie, your host, and we are back. Last time, Bonnie and I did kind of a split episode. Well, it was one full episode, and I split it into two. There was just so much to talk about, and I wanted to maintain that fidelity of a, section on non spoiler material and then a section where we react and talk about spoilery material. So, there you have it, folks. I hope you enjoyed our reaction to episode 3 and 4 of Vincenzo. Vin- Vin- I still can't say it right, Bonnie. I know
Vincenzo?
I know I said it really wrong on our last week's podcast because as I've been watching the show and I listened to all the characters say the name, and I've been saying it like with a emphasis on the C, and I made it like a CH sound. I said Vincenzo because to me that
Yeah.
seemed to be the correct way of pronouncing it. And I thought Vincenzo himself said it that way early on. But maybe I'm wrong because now whenever other people refer to his name, they are there's no CH sound and the C is pronounced like a hard S.
Okay. I think I don't know enough Italian to actually know how to pronounce it properly. Right? And how do you know they're pronouncing it properly? Because it might just be like the Korean way of pronouncing it.
The Korean way, the Korean way of pronouncing it is Bin Sancho. Bin
Yes.
Sancho, and you say that really fast. That's how
Mm-hmm.
phonetically they wrote it in Korean because there's no V equivalent in
Okay.
Korean. So it becomes like a B sound. B.
That's your Korean lesson for today.
That's right. Yeah, so I'm reading the title. I'm like, okay, the C definitely is more like a sen.
Yeah.
Like
That makes
Vincent,
sense.
you know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Vincenzo
Vincenzo.
is an Italian form of the English Vincent. So I suppose that's how you do it. But it's very hard for me. It does not roll off the tongue.
No, I think it's because there's an H sound after the Z too. Whereas if you just read it out loud, it's like Vincenzo. If you're reading it through like English way, that's how you would say it. But then I think based on like the Korean way of saying it and the way that they've been saying it, there's an H sound, so it's show. So that's what's confusing. I don't know. I don't know. It's not like when I watch TV, I go around saying the name. So it never really occurred to me that it's a difficult word to pronounce. So maybe we need to study Italian a little bit more before our next episode to figure it out.
It is a lovely and very emphatic language. But language lessons aside, buongiorno, viewers. I have watched up to episode 6, the end of episode 6. So episodes 5 and 6 is where, to me, there were two major reviews and some very important plot items that came up. We'll be talking and reacting to that as a summary to Bonnie because she is well ahead of me in the game. Uh, she's completed episode 8 by now. Um, I want to give a brief recap of what happened in episode 5 and 6 so I don't accidentally get spoiled by Bonnie.
Spoiled.
Yeah. So what we had in episode 5 is the Babel factory, their like pharmaceutical warehouse was blown up. That was a fun scene to watch. Blown up by our protagonist with a big show of explosions. And Vincenzo and Cha Young have gone through their first trial, their first hearing, with a lot of interruptions that happened during their trial. And the big reveal of uh, the villain who's already like revealed himself in episode 5, but he's now revealed himself to other people in the Wusan group in episode 6. Just shenanigans happen, and everybody appears to be gearing up for what will happen on episode 7, which would be the second hearing. And that's where I stopped off.
I didn't know how, because we stopped at episode 5 last time, so I wasn't sure how many we were covering this time. So I'm like, okay, maybe I should keep watching. And then I just kept watching until
Actually,
I couldn't
I didn't
anymore.
even get I didn't even get to the end of episode 4 in our last
Oh,
discussion.
no
Yeah.
wonder.
So the explosion didn't happen yet. I was missing like the last 10 minutes of the show.
Okay,
And I
yeah.
checked back and I thought, "Oh, I stopped like partway through for some reason." Yeah, so that's why, I've only like since in the past week seen what happened there. And then I continued and blazed on through 5 and 6.
Okay, so now I know.
Awesome. So
Yay.
how about those explosions, that end scene? That was really fun to watch. What a nice callback to Yu-chan.
I think it was definitely, those two episodes were really good. Like
Very
with all the
exciting.
reveals. Yeah, it's when, that's when things got real. When
Yeah.
there's no, just guessing around, seeing what the other people are doing, kind of playing by the books. That's when, like, no, we're gonna do illegal stuff now.
Yeah, that's right. And everybody was in on it too.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
And
the fact that they got
though
the people to help them, the victim's
that's
family, I
very
think.
refreshing to watch. That's just so satisfying. Like those were the victims' families
Yeah.
from a non-related case to Babel. Like they were the defendants of a previous case that Yu Chan worked on, and they came back to help out. Quite good, like emotionally, how they worked that in.
Well, yeah, because you would think, like, who's gonna do that kind of work for them, right? Because, like we mentioned last time, he doesn't really have that many people who are under his wings
Hmm.
in Korea. So we were like, well, I was thinking like, oh, where did he get this whole gang of people? And then when I found out that it was actually the victim's family, I was like, that's so meaningful.
It
Not
is.
not that I would encourage anyone to do bad things, illegal things, even if they were victims, but in this case, on a TV show, it was very refreshing and very touching.
What a nice move.
Yes.
That's a nice touch.
Yeah. And
Good
when one
job,
of them
writers.
hugged Chaeyoung,
Oh yeah,
that
I very much noted that particular hug.
yeah.
Uh, I don't think Cha Young isn't used to that type of gratification. She's been working for sleazy, wealthy, underhanded corporations all her life, seemingly, after
Yeah.
she became a lawyer. So this um, this sudden call to justice and feeling like she's done something very, very morally meaningful
Mhm.
and upright is a first for her, and being thanked for her actions as well. That's
Mhm.
also a first.
I think for both of them, if it wasn't for Yu Chen and this whole situation, both of them would never have experienced any of this because they are not good people to begin with. Like they're not ethical lawyers to begin with, right? Um,
Yeah, that's right. They were in it for their own personal interests more than
yeah,
anything else to start off with.
But because they are now involved in this case, now they're both kind of experiencing something different than what they're used to.
I do like the using explosion tactics again, just like when Vincenzo lit up the vineyard in the first episode.
That's true. It's a callback to that.
Douse alcohol or ethanol all over the place. Give it a nice, good coverage, and throw the lighter on it.
I just realized
Set
he
it
used the same
ablaze.
trick.
Yes.
Not very creative.
It doesn't need to be creative.
That's true. It's
It just
effective.
needs to be effective. Yeah.
That's true.
I did. Did you see it coming? As at the
No.
precursor scenes when the disinfectant crew came in
Mm-hmm.
and the pharmaceutical workers just kind of like moved out of the way. Oh, they said it's that time of the year again. Didn't know it was coming up so fast. And they start spraying that stuff. I knew something was suspicious about that
I knew it was
from that
suspicious, but
part.
I didn't think he would light it up. Like, I didn't catch on until he threw the lighter.
Ah, oh, slow on the uptake, Bonnie.
Yeah, I didn't
Usually you're
really.
faster than me.
I know. I was like, what's going on? What's the plot?
What I noticed is that they had quite a number of close-up shots on the container's MSDS labels. So
Okay.
MSDS is like the material safety data sheets.
Yeah.
There are symbols, right, that says
Yeah.
this is flammable, and all that stuff that they were using were like flammable. And I'm thinking,
Okay.
this is gonna lead to something good.
Okay. Well, of course you're gonna be more observant for this type of stuff.
Yeah,
Workplace
can't help
safety.
it.
Yeah.
I cannot help it.
So great scene.
Hmm.
Amazing revenge plot.
Satisfying to all.
Very satisfying. Because they
I like
should
his
not allow
quote.
this dangerous chemical to be in the world.
Yep,
So
that's right. This is
I
a
was
huge
happy.
setback for Babel. Like something that was a big warehouse, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure the chemicals were very expensive.
I don't know if they mentioned, they didn't mention if that's the end of that. Like, are they not going to further produce the RDU? Is that the end of it? Or, like, I want to know what the actual impact is. Do they have another warehouse?
I don't know, but I don't
I don't
think it
know.
matters at this point. It's
Well,
not,
for
might not be
me,
terribly relevant.
in terms of justice, I want to know if this terrible drug is going to be in the world.
Fair enough. It's still allowed to be in the world,
Yeah.
though. They got their patent through, and it's like approved by whatever Korea's equivalent of the Food Drug Administration is.
Yeah. So, oh
Yeah.
well, it's a fictional story. I should let it go.
Yeah. There was something I had to let go to. I was about to research if the rate of ignition of like the chemicals, like the container, the
Hmm.
building construction materials is realistic. I
Yeah,
couldn't
that
help
was
myself. I'm
fast.
like, how fast can this stuff really light up? I think if it's flammable, especially, drywall and things, it
Hmm.
could light up pretty quickly. And then it becomes this chain reaction,
Hmm.
one explosion after another, and it will happen really, really fast. Like we're talking like split seconds. Lots of tiny explosions going off, boom, 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 bigger explosions, and then, more. It just becomes this like unbreaking chain reaction until all the flammable materials have run out, or, oxygen has run out, or the firefighters arrive on scene. It'll take them forever to extinguish a hazardous release of that size.
Hmm. Yep.
Yeah,
So
that
that's
I
the
did
science
know.
lesson behind it.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured, okay, yeah, it's probably feasible. This could happen. The fire extinguishers, like the sprinkler system was deactivated.
Realistically, wouldn't the guys in the lab know that they were the ones who did it? If you really think about it, like, how come no one was suspicious of them and
I
how.
think they were just all panicking.
Yeah.
trying to get out of the building safely, get off the premises safely. It wasn't a matter of, oh my gosh, who did this, but more, I don't
Let's
want
get
to be
out.
burned alive and I gotta call my boss and oh my God, all our stuff is in there. Oh, I was listening to a smattering of various famous Italian operas just before we started this podcast, like the top 10 most well-known operas, just so I could find which insert opera they used for the end of episode 5. And I learned that it's called Nessun Dorma, meaning no one will sleep.
You actually
Like no
found
one
it?
gets to sleep. Yep, because I heard it, and I know it's actually one of the one opera that I enjoy and I've heard before. So all I had to do was listen to a whole bunch of famous ones and then figure out, okay, which one it was the one that I just heard.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, but how fitting. Nessun dorma, no one
Mm-hmm.
will sleep.
That is true.
Yes, and his quote too. Like there's an awesome Vincenzo quote for every episode. And this one was set stars at dawn I will win. We find out at the end of that episode who the big villain is. Who is the real guy standing at
Well,
the
I
top
did
of the battle
say,
ladder?
I did text you and I was like, oh my gosh. But then I didn't tell you who it was because that's a
No, you
huge
didn't.
reveal. That's like the biggest reveal so far, I think.
Yep.
Did you see it coming?
I wondered if it would be him, but I thought that would be just too absurd. Like it would be a very uh, meaningless, kind of a far-fetched plot
Mm-hmm.
twist. It would be overly contrived.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote him out of the equation and I figured, okay, it's probably somebody who we've just never met yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But forget all of that. It is him. It's Taekyon. That's his real name. Junwoo is
Yeah.
I believe his character name. Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Ambivalent feelings. Like I said, if it were him, then it would be just such a forced contrivance that it's not terribly creative writing, and it's kind of like shoehorned in. But as far as the rest of the story goes, I don't mind it if they play it out right. It is kind of annoying. I would have liked it to be somebody else.
Me
Because I
too.
enjoyed watching Junwoo as this casual character in a very otherwise like a stiff law firm.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought he would be later join forces with Cha Young and Vincenzo.
And that's what you said last time. And I was hoping that, in another reality, that would be great. But I knew at that time that that's not possible. I think a lot of the writing in terms of the character writing for this drama is that they don't want you to, there's twists. They don't want you to kind of know from the start if this person is good or bad, right? Like you see Vincenzo and you're like, oh, he's bad. You see Chaeyoung and you're like, oh, she's bad. Um, and then you see that like Busan lawyer and you're like, oh, she's kind of cool. So I was like, I was wrong about everyone, Like I liked him. I liked Jung Woo, is that his name?
Yep,
I thought he
Junwoo.
was really fun and really carefree and chill. And, even till now, like till episode 8 or whatever that I'm watching, I'm not going to give spoilers, but it's still not very believable that he is the
He's
bad guy.
yeah.
Maybe it's his
It's
acting or the character writing.
it's both. For one, the actor Taekyon, he's never been in a bad boy role or in a villain role.
Mm-hmm.
He's always been the kind of carefree, upright protagonist. So this is might be a little bit out of his depth. not terribly believable, but whatever, I'll buy it.
I mean, we have no choice. He is the bad guy. But
Yeah,
it's just
that's
like
right.
every time, they show him and his villainous side, I'm just like, he still looks like he's playing around. Like,
Yeah, he
I can't
is.
see the
And
evil in his eyes.
that it's kind of annoying too. You know, why go through all of that to join a lawyer firm and pretend that
Yeah.
you're on one side? Um, I guess just for fun,
I was surprised about the
because
reveal too, the whole slideshow where he
yeah,
revealed himself to the Wu-Sang group. I thought he wouldn't do that until like later on. I'm surprised he revealed to them so early. Like,
yep.
what was the point of that? Why did he have to do that? Why was he, there are so many questions. I guess you're
About
right.
his
Maybe he's just doing
motives.
it for fun.
It seems like it.
You can't really
He
explain
he
it.
he harbors a very deep-seated resentment about I think about his upbringing, about his parents,
Mm-hmm.
possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and being sent overseas. Yeah, it's something that he probably internally just struggled with. And so this is his idea of getting back at society. Not super
Not
believable, like I
believable.
said.
Again, I
Yeah,
don't see
can't
that like
relate.
angry kind of resentful side. To me, he's just some kid.
Yeah, who's playing around with fire,
Yeah.
and he's got the means to do so.
Because they were saying how like his brother's so stupid, right? But
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
see him as this like super smart villain either.
No, he's very, and it's annoying how two-faced he is.
I wonder if his feelings for Chaeyoung are real though,
Now that is a good question to dwell on.
right? So is he really
Um,
two faced? Like, I feel like he might have some interest in her, but at the end of the day, if he needs to get to where he needs to get to, he would sacrifice her.
yeah, he'd want to kind of force her out of the current role she's playing because he doesn't want them to be on opposite sides. Yeah, I think there are some romantic feelings there. How strong those feelings are is up for debate. And if his feelings will win out in the end. See,
Mm-hmm.
if they put Cha Young in a really precarious situation that he doesn't fully intend, then he might come to her rescue. There is a this is my drama prediction of the day. That at some point that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
He's gonna go too far, or his underlings will take it too far, and she'll be like in physical danger. And then he'll have to choose and make that impossible choice.
Yeah. I'm not hopeful that he'll choose her because his feelings are apparently pretty superficial, but we'll have to see. I think it
Mm-hmm.
makes it interesting. It makes it interesting that, there is that extra token that he does have feelings for her. So maybe he won't go all out, but who knows, right?
Now that we've ironed that out, that one big reveal, is there another big reveal? No, that's about it. I mean, he shows finally like reveals who he is to the Wusan group, and then our Busan lady lawyer seems very annoyed with the new reveal. She doesn't like it at all. I don't know if she feels like she's been duped,
Probably.
or if that this has already gone sideways in so many other ways when she's facing her opposition, that this is just like another straw that breaks the camel's back.
I think it's both. I think if anything, she is probably more equipped to be a villain because I can see her as probably one of the most intelligent people in the whole drama. So the fact that this little like happy-go-lucky guy has more power over her is probably annoying her.
Ah, yes. It's that power trip.
That's what I think,
The
right?
annoyance of it all. Yeah.
Yeah. Even though like she has to call him sir and stuff because he is the one who's like employing her. I think deep down she doesn't feel like he deserves it
But
because
she seems to be okay with the other practicing managing lawyer at the firm. Like he strikes me as a complete idiot also.
oh yeah, he's incompetent too. So I don't think she
Yeah.
respects him either. I don't think she respects anyone. I think she feels like she's the best.
Yeah. She feels like she's the best. Like, and she's known for being the butcher, apparently. Winning is what she wants to do. She always just wants to win. Narcissist attitude.
Yeah, which makes her interesting. I still like
Hmm.
her. I still respect her because, like I said, I feel like she's competent and smart. And if anything, she would be a more appropriate, same level villain compared to Vincenzo. Like, they should
Yeah,
duel it
agreed.
out, right? This little kid, I don't think he has anything on Vincenzo if he wasn't like the son to some rich guy.
He just has money
He has money. He doesn't actually have
and
the
influence.
chops to do anything.
That makes sense. That's why it's hard for her to respect him.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
Yeah.
I buy that. Totally. Now, how about that purple suit? The one that Vincenzo wore to the first hearing? Paired up with Cha Yong's very pink suit. They
I
make a
was not
nice
paying
combo,
attention to the
like.
suits. I was paying attention to the car.
Oh, yes. Vroom vroom.
Yeah, because my
Wow, that's
husband's into cars. I'm like, you gotta look at this.
that's a beautiful Lambo.
Yeah.
I usually don't see it painted in that color.
Oh, yeah?
Yellow and black are the go-to colors for Lamborghinis.
Yes, I
Yeah.
can see
So
that.
that very bright kind of azure blue. Mm.
It was so
Ooh.
disappointing when that other car pulled up first, and I'm like, that's his car?
Yeah.
Right?
Again, flipping our expectations on their heads, right?
Yeah, so good. I'm like,
Yeah.
that can't be his car.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
that is a great entrance.
that was amazing.
Yeah. It was like it took like I don't know, almost 10 minutes for them to iron out just that entrance.
Yeah, but it
The
was so
slow
good.
ascent up the stairs, the back and forth bickering
Yeah,
and and witty comebacks.
yeah.
And Chaeyoung's wink, like she takes off her sunglasses and she just does this ding,
And he
little
just like
snarky
drops
little
off his
wink.
key to some rando. I don't think they have valet.
Oh, it was great. And I just love the styling for that first hearing for Vincenzo and Chaeyoung. Paired
Yeah,
them up really well, the stylist. Yeah,
everything
and
about that first hearing was so
I
good.
the purple suit is very hard to pull off. No matter what, no matter how big of a superstar you are, and he's done it. Song Joong Ki can pull off purple really well.
Pull off anything.
But there wasn't much lawyering in that first hearing, was there? I was actually expecting, some papers to be
Actual
like tossed
law.
around, evidence
Yeah.
presented, evidence refuted, witnesses brought in, some testimony. There was none of that. It was just like this sideshow comedy of errors.
I think that's what makes it unpredictable. But then, yeah, I agree with you that I was kind of disappointed because, like, growing up, I like watching lawyer shows because I like the whole back and forth and the legal playing the loopholes and all that stuff. So the fact that they didn't have any was kind of like, oh, that was it. But yeah, I think it's meant to just be like a comedic scene, the
They
whole
do
thing.
maintain that the comedic themes in throughout all of the episodes, no matter how dicey and serious
Oh
things
yeah,
get.
exactly.
Like this show is doing that balancing act surprisingly well.
Well, it's classified under dark comedy, but I would say it's like comedy,
Yep, I agree.
right? Very
To be
different
honest, I'm not
from
sure what dark comedy really is.
dark
Because
comedy
Orange
is like
is
Black Mirror.
Black Mirror is a comedy? I mean, dark comedy, yes, but any sort of, I wouldn't even file it under any sort of comedy. Like, are you supposed to laugh at dark comedy?
It's like a
Like British
parody of
humor?
real life. Huh? It's like dark humor. It's like,
Okay.
I don't know if you're supposed to laugh, but it's kind of like, ha, that's
Like sarcastic humor.
sarcastic humor, maybe. That's my understanding. Who
Like,
knows? I
huh.
might be making
Or
this up.
maybe the reaction is more like, huh, look at that kind of thing. As opposed to, ha 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 ha,
Yeah, it's not like
or mwa mwa
lighthearted
ha ha.
humor.
Yeah. Okay. It doesn't make yeah, it doesn't make you feel good inside. Dark comedy.
No, it's more like it's like ironic. It's real life. It's kind of morbid. That's what I
Ah,
think.
okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't think this kind of falls into that category, to be
No,
honest.
Netflix is not skilled at putting shows in their appropriate categories. It's
Yeah.
just it's almost like you think they only the people who do this just watched the 30-second trailer and then made the decision then and there, like what kind of show it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that trailer was inappropriate, like we talked about last time. I like the detective. He's really likable.
He's a very irrelevant character. I don't know if he's actually going to do anything, but he makes room for a lot of the circumstantial funny scenes
Yeah,
that Vincenzo finds himself in.
exactly. Like, I still don't know what his role is either, but I don't know. I just think he's like, he's funny.
I've just accepted that he's not going to make any significant contributions to the plot.
He could, who knows? He could be the key to all of this.
Now that would be some plot twist, eh?
Yeah, that's my prediction. There you go.
Here's something that I find is quite far-fetched is the fact that everybody is and they can be bought out. It's basically all people and a bunch of respectable professions in society has been bribed, threatened, coerced by Babel Group,
Yep,
including the judge now.
yep.
I mean, before, okay, we knew about the reporter, we knew about the police, we knew about the researchers,
And the doctor.
and and the doctor. Okay, that's already stretching it quite far. But now, okay, even the judge is in on it. Come on, like
I
this
know.
is getting a little bit ridiculous. Is this what Koreans really think goes on behind the scenes, in the upper echelons of society?
Who knows, right? Like, there are probably some societies in the world. I don't know about Korea, but there are probably some societies in the world where it is true that everything's corrupt. And as long as you have money, you can do anything.
This is going a little bit too far, I think, for South Korea. South Korea is really big on creating dramas around corruptions amongst like that upper echelon. And that like and those people like these executives typically from big corporations, how their web of influence seems to catch on so many different aspects of society.
Hmm.
it there are a lot of shows that use that as a plot device, and it kind of makes me wonder, like, is
Mm-hmm.
some of this might be real, like
Yeah.
it's happening.
Maybe that's a dark comedy piece because it's real life.
But yeah, the perception is that, big corporations could become big baddies.
Yeah, this one's a real bad one, though. I think that's the point, though, right? It's to say that you can't play clean in this situation. You need to be mafia, which
Yep.
is back to your original quote from last time. You have to fight evil with evil or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have to put them in a situation where there's no way, like, it's impossible if you want to go. Like, the Yu Chan style doesn't work in this case. It'll never work.
Yep.
You need to do something
Yeah.
to their level.
The strongest punch is the one that comes from behind.
You need to play
Another
dirty.
good quote. Another good quote from
Yeah.
Vincenzo.
You have so many.
I even have one more. This one's more well known. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Now,
Oh,
I suspect I know who that will be. The
who?
enemy of my enemy.
What's your
I
prediction?
think it could be. I think it could be that that second son is definitely the enemy of Vincenzo's enemy. He could be.
He could be.
He's stuck
There's
playing the
potential.
game
Yeah.
as a puppet of his older brother.
Mm-hmm.
So he has the potential to double cross his older brother.
It's true.
Do it, I say. We also have some little flutterings of potential romantic development between Cha Yong and Vincenzo. Do you feel the love in the air?
I mean, I saw that coming from like a mile away from the beginning. you know, it was obvious. As even like when she first met him, I was like, okay, yeah, something's gonna happen.
I thought they would actually keep love off the table this time
You think so?
because that's
No.
not, I didn't think this was what the show was built around. It's built around comedy, it's built around dramatic overtures, it's built around being badass. But I didn't count on that it being built around romance. So it's pretty downplayed, which
Yeah.
is I would prefer that they keep it very subtle.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think Cha Young definitely admires him, and she doesn't seem like the type who has a lot of admiration for people in general, unless
Mm-hmm.
it's herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can see that admiration and friendship and um, working through difficult things together becoming a basis for a romantic relationship.
Yeah. Like that's definitely possible.
But what about the other way around? How does he feel about her?
I think he seems more like cold blooded.
He's a lizard.
In the sense that it would be difficult for him to develop feelings for anyone.
I think so too.
So
With
we'll have to see.
everything that he's experienced,
Yeah.
I mean, but that's not to say like members of the mafia don't get married and don't have children. They very much do.
But they have to be careful,
So,
right? Bad guys can't have
yeah.
family because they're going to use them against them.
Hmm. But the ice is breaking.
It is.
He's mostly just like very teasing about her, but he does have like feelings of endearment, if nothing more stronger than that at this time. I mean, he had feelings of endearment towards Yu-chan as well,
Exactly.
the more that he got to know him.
I think his relationship with him was stronger than with his daughter, but because maybe his relationship with his dad was strong, he's like treating her like, you know, with
Like a sister?
endearment, like a sister or, someone he should look after.
Yep. Yep.
Um, yeah, I think that's where he's at right now. I don't think he's
I
like
think so.
interested or in love with her at all right now,
Yep.
at
No.
least.
No. No, it hasn't gone there yet.
No,
Somebody has to make the first move, and it's not going to be him.
no.
He can't. I don't think he can get there on his own. It's just not his personality.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
the way he goes about life. He doesn't go about life looking for or stumble into potential romantic interests.
Well, he seems like a very practical guy. Like he's not doing anything if it wasn't for his own self-interest.
Yep. Yeah. True.
So, love is not very practical. So, I'm not sure if that's
You
going
can
to
say
be
that
something
twice.
he would prioritize.
Yeah. But I would like to see where that goes.
We will see.
Yes. Uh, let it develop slowly, subtly, and tastefully.
Yes, please.
And that will please me. We have arrived at the end of this podcast episode. And Bonnie and I have finished our reactions to episode 5 and 6. Next week, we'll be back with the rest. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. This has been Jackie and Bonnie with Sakura Pop Cast. Please leave a comment, favorite, and subscribe. We will be back. See you next week. Arrivederci. Bye. 안녕.
안녕.